A sorcerer built a house full of gold from the bodies of the brides he murdered, one after another, in a locked room no wife was ever meant to survive finding. One did survive it. She put her sisters back together with her own hands, piece by piece, and burned him alive at his own wedding feast. This is what the Brothers Grimm published in 1812. This is grim and true. A poor man had 3 daughters, and in the forest near their home lived a sorcerer disguised as a beggar, with a basket on his back. Anyone he touched was pulled toward that basket against their own will, unable to resist, and carried off to his house. He touched the eldest daughter first. His house stood deep in the forest, filled with gold and silver and every comfort a person could want. This story was collected by the Grimms in 1812 as tale number 46, and it belongs to the same family as Bluebeard, an old warning about locked rooms and the men who keep them. The sorcerer told the eldest daughter he had to travel, and before he left he handed her a single egg and a full ring of keys to every room in the house. Keep the egg with you always, he told her, and never lose it, because misfortune will follow if you do. He forbade her from opening one particular door, then left her alone with the keys. She explored freely, room after room of treasure, until curiosity brought her to the forbidden door. Inside was a large basin filled with blood, and in it lay the hacked and dismembered bodies of women who had come to this house before her. In her horror, she dropped the egg into the basin, and the blood stained it instantly, a mark that would not wash off no matter how hard she scrubbed. When the sorcerer returned, he asked for the egg first, before anything else. He saw the stain and knew exactly what it meant. He dragged her back to their room by her hair, cut her into pieces on the very block where the others had died, and threw her body in among them. He went back to the poor man's house and took the second daughter the same way. She met the same end for the same reason. The third daughter was cleverer than her sisters. Before she opened anything, she set the egg down carefully in a safe corner, away from any risk of harm. Only then did she open the forbidden door, and what she found broke her heart. But instead of freezing in horror, she gathered her sister's limbs from the basin and fitted each piece back into its place, carefully, until both bodies were whole again. Both sisters breathed, opened their eyes, and lived. She hid them safely and returned to her egg untouched and clean. When the sorcerer came home and inspected the egg, he found no stain at all. Satisfied, he asked her to marry him, and she agreed on one condition. He would carry a basket of gold to her parents' house himself, with no resting along the way, because she would be watching him from her window the entire time. What he did not know was that her eldest sister was hidden inside that basket, buried under the gold. Whenever he tried to rest, a voice from the basket called out that she could see him from her window, and he must keep moving. He obeyed every time and delivered her sister home safely. He carried the second sister the same way, in the same basket, none the wiser. On the day of the wedding, the third daughter dressed a skull in a bridal wreath and flowers, and set it in the upstairs window, so it would look like a bride watching from above. Then she rolled herself in honey and cut open a feather bed, coating herself until she was unrecognizable, covered head to foot in white down. She walked out of that house as something that no longer looked human at all. On the road she passed the wedding guests, and they asked her, "Where do you come from, Fitcher's bird?" "I come from Fitcher's house nearby," she told them, giving nothing away. She met the sorcerer himself on that same road, and even he asked her the same question and got the same answer, and let her walk on toward her family without ever knowing who she was. Back at the house, the sorcerer and every wicked friend he had invited to celebrate with him gathered for the wedding feast. The doors were sealed, and the house was set on fire around them, burning the sorcerer and his entire company alive inside the home he had built for murdered women. The Brothers Grimm published this story alongside tales like Bluebeard, but this one gives its ending to the women themselves. The third daughter survives not by resisting temptation alone, but by thinking carefully, protecting what mattered, and bringing her sisters back rather than simply escaping without them. Modern versions rarely keep the reassembly of the bodies or the disguise made of honey and feathers, but those details are the entire point. This was never a story about staying obedient. It was a story about staying clever. This is Grim and True. If you want more of the real stories, subscribe. Next week, The Girl Without Hands, the grim story about a father's bargain with the devil and the daughter who paid the price for it. Until then, stay in the dark.